Hey YouTube, hey Bold and the Beautiful fans, is Steffi pushing Thomas away from hope, okay? So in today's episode, we definitely saw some interesting things happen and Steffi say some interesting things to Thomas, so let's get into it. So we saw that scene at the Cliff House where Steffi is telling Thomas to put hope behind him and to take Paris and Douglas and go to Europe and live a spectacular life there. So we saw this months ago, of course, when Steffi was trying to persuade Thomas to leave Hope, to go to Paris. And it looks like now, after the wedding, if the wedding happens or if something happens at the wedding, we really don't know what's going to happen. But Steffi now is pushing Thomas to go to Europe, to just leave LA, take the family, go to Europe, and leave Hope behind, okay? And saying that when he comes back, that Hope will have moved on with another man. And I'm wondering if that man could be Finn, okay? Steffi's husband, right? Is Steffi inadvertently, right, setting up a situation where she could lose her husband to Hope? That's something to think about. We saw Hope expressing her concern to Finn today about why this is moving so fast between Thomas and Paris. And Finn says that nobody's pushing them to get married so soon, but Hope says Steffi is, okay? So Hope believes that Steffi is behind all of this, that maybe she's manipulating things to bring Hope, or to bring Paris and Thomas together and to keep Thomas away from Hope, okay? And we saw the confrontation that Steffi and Hope had months ago, and there definitely seemed that Steffi was determined to do just that, okay? To keep Thomas and Hope separate and apart from each other. But Brooke, too, also expressed concern today, too, to Ridge and everyone that maybe Steffi could be pushing this and pushing, Thomas to stay away from Hope, too. So Brooke is concerned about Steffi's possible involvement in this, and Hope is concerned about that. And we saw Steffi today tell Thomas to go to Europe, right, with Paris and Douglas. So it does seem like Steffi is trying to persuade and influence Thomas to stay away from Hope, and that she's kind of interfering, meddling in this a little bit too. So we'll have to see how far this goes and where this storyline goes with Steffi. And another thing about Steffi too is that she knew, right, with phone calls and texts, she knew about Paris and Thomas's relationship, right? But she didn't tell anyone about it, right? She wanted Thomas and them to come home and surprise everyone. But it kind of gives you the hint, the indication a little bit that maybe Steffi was working behind the scenes a little bit. The show wants to give us that idea, okay? So it seems like we don't see Steffi scheming really or doing anything, but I think the show wants us to think that Steffi is a driving force, in keeping Hope and Thomas apart. But we saw Hope and Finn today share more scenes together, and there was more of that dialogue, emphasizing that there's another man out there for Hope, okay? And we saw Finn tell Hope that there's life after Thomas, that there's another man out there for her other than Thomas, okay? And we saw Finn say that to Hope, that there's life after Thomas, and that when she least expects it, the guy she's meant to be with will be standing right in front of her. And that could be Finn, So I'm thinking, wow, the show is really, really driving the point home here. And we even see Ridge today tell everyone, Brooke, Donna, and Eric, that Hope is going to find a man to share her life with, okay? And so this point has been brought up, reiterated, and I think the show is trying to push us or drive the storyline in a direction that's suggesting that maybe Hope and Finn will be together, okay? And that maybe Thomas and Hope might not last all that much longer. We'll have to see. And Hope has been asking herself why. Why didn't she say yes to Thomas's proposal? And she doesn't really know. She doesn't really have an answer for that. Thomas is a one-woman man. They have chemistry. So why did she say no to the proposal, right? Thomas now has proposed 3 times. And even, you know, the other day at Eric's house, and Hope still couldn't say yes. And she kind of provided a little bit of clarity into that today with Finn, telling Finn that the idea of forever terrifies her, okay? So maybe it's just that Hope doesn't want to be married. Maybe there's still trauma there from all the manipulation that Thomas did to Hope in the past with Beth and all of that. On some level, for some reason, Hope just can't commit to marriage with Thomas. And Hope's been through a lot with Liam and all of that in the marriage. She just doesn't want to be married. Or maybe she just doesn't see Thomas as her end game. Or maybe there's other feelings that Hope has. Maybe feelings for Finn, okay? And Hope even says, you know, she doesn't know what's going on with her. She feels confused at times. And what's going on here? Does she have feelings for Hope? We know she's having headaches. We know she's having fantasies and daydreams about Finn. And we might see more of those this week, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Finn has really been, you know, pushing this point to Hope that she's better off without Thomas and that there's another man out there for her. Could that man be Finn? So far, Finn is showing no romantic interest in Hope, okay? This is all kind of coming from Hope's side. We'll see if that changes, but everyone's kind of saying, you know, Finn, Ridge, you know, all these people are suggesting that Hope will find another man, okay? And we always see scenes with Finn and Hope, usually after that dialogue, okay? We'll see Finn and Hope together. So I think the show is trying to tell us that Finn and Hope could become a thing in the very near future. Is Thomas and Hope, is it over? Are Thomas and Paris going to get married? Is it going to happen? And Donna is expressing doubt about Thomas and Paris, and so is Brooke, and everyone thinks it's kind of moving fast, but Ridge, you know, believes in Thomas and Paris and believes that Thomas has moved on. Has Thomas moved on? Is this a ploy, a manipulation on Thomas's part to try to get Hope back to fight for him? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where this is going, but it seems to me the past couple of episodes that it's going more towards Hope and Finn. And if Steffy is able to persuade and influence Thomas to leave LA again and go back to Europe, then boy, that really creates a situation where Hope and Finn can have more scenes together and the story maybe becomes more about them. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Hope and Finn are going to happen? Is there romance in the future for Hope and Finn? Will Thomas and Hope reunite some spectacular way that we don't know yet? Is the wedding going to go on? Are Thomas and Paris meant to be together? Or is it Thomas and Hope? Is there hope for Thope? Or is it Hope and Finn? But what do you think about Steffy now telling Thomas to leave to Europe? Is Steffy trying to push Thomas away from Hope? It's definitely going to get interesting. We'll have more updates coming on this incredible, juicy drama going on in LA. Okay, so we'll keep it right here with updates. And hey, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll have more videos soon, and I'll see you in the next video.